Let's talk about influencers today. And more specifically, for our purposes of a health related podcast, I want to talk about Fitfluencers. That's actually what they're called. So if it feels like everywhere you scroll that someone is showing their perfectly prepped and curated meals or their sculpted six-pack abs or their crazy intense workout, you are not alone. And today on our episode, I want to bring some perspective to these Fitfluencers. And for the record, I have no interest in being one. I'm glad they're there. I don't have any opposition to them making a living this way, but that's just not my jam. So, for the perspective today, the problem again, it's not that they exist. The problem is how we consume the content that they are putting out and what we assume about that content that they put out. Because it's really easy to fall into the trap and forget that social media is not real life. Even the most reputable fitfluencers are only showing us a curated highlight reel of what's actually happening. And I do want to emphasize reputable because I'm not talking about the smarmy ones that are editing their photos and now videos thanks to AI or push gimmicky products and supplements to anyone who will buy them. Those aren't the people I'm talking about. But even with the good ones, we are still only seeing one out of several meals, or maybe one meal per week. And then we assume that that's what they are eating for every single meal across the board. Or we see their sweaty selfie after one crazy intense workout, and we assume that that's the result of all of their workouts and that they spend 3 hours a day in the gym 7 days a week. We are seeing one snippet of their reality, not even close to the full picture. And that's the piece that we need to keep in mind when we are consuming this content. No one is posting every single thing that they eat, every single rep of every single workout, every great night of sleep or poor night of sleep for that matter, every skipped session, their inner dialogue of the struggles that they're having to show up that day, anything like that, cravings. We are only seeing, again, a curated, so purposeful selection of the reality in their lives. And social media just doesn't work that way for someone to share everything. Maybe that's what some vlogs are for, even in the best case, but you can't actually watch someone's 24/7 life. Like, who has that much time? Because we're all busy and living our own lives. So, of course, what we see is the most interesting or most aesthetically pleasing, most engaging parts of their life, the one that is reinforcing the concepts that they live, coach, promote, whatever their deal is for being a fitfluencer. And so, what happens when we forget all of that aspect of social media being the highlight reel is that we then start comparing our full living our messy lives that's full of chaos to their curated highlight reels. And then we feel like we're not measuring up. We're like, well, if she can do that, if she could spend 20 hours a week in the gym, why can't I? I must be failing at this whole thing because I can't stick to it. I can't do it that way. That doesn't work for me. So the problem's got to be me. And the reality is that you're comparing it to completely different things. And so that is the perspective shift or the reminder that I want to share with you today is that social media is just that, a snapshot. It is not even close to the full story. And I know you know this, but just think of it how you don't post every single thing that you do every single day. Well, neither do they. So again, I know that you know this, but we need that reminder because we start comparing. And I know you've heard that quote, comparison is the thief of joy. And so the difference when we see it on someone else's polished feed looks pretty and it looks aspirational and it looks influential because they're called influencers, but we assume then that it's the whole truth instead of one tiny aspect of their life. So the next time that you catch yourself spiraling, comparing because someone else online seems to have it all figured out, I want you to just pause and remember that it is not the whole picture, not even close. So use their content for inspiration if you want, use it for ideas, but not for comparison. That is not your standard by which you should measure your own self. And it is definitely not the measure of your worth. Your journey, your health journey is real life. It's got real food, real schedules, real chaos, real family obligations, and real human bodies that sometimes crave chocolate or need a day off. And that's not failure, it is just being human. So that's today's daily bit of fit. Take it and run or walk or stretch. Just go move. That's it for today's daily bit of fit. I'm Coach Mack from Running with Bacon, reminding you that small steps really do add up. Make sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss a bit. And if today's episode hit home, send it to a friend who might need it too. And if you ever want a quick pep talk tailored just for you, DM me on Instagram because I'm always happy to send some encouragement your way. You can find more support and my health coaching resources at runningwithbacon.com or come hang with me on Instagram for some healthy fun. Until next time, keep taking those small steps because you don't need a perfect plan, just a consistent one.